Yo, 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 it's RS.
And it's Dino, and welcome to the Slamber Show.
Say you're right, yo, it's Slamber Crew. It's not slumber food. So what you wanna do when we come after you?
SLAMBER, we the Slamber boys.
When we crush your little beat-boys.
We don't stop cause we brothers.
It's not slumber food.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Slamber Show.
Yeah.
Before we start, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in once again for another episode. If you like our previous episodes, let us know in the comments below. Like the video, and please subscribe. That'll really help us out. And you know, me and RS truly appreciate it. So, if you like what we're doing, just let us know. And we couldn't do this without you guys.
Yes.
So today's gonna be a good one, man. Because I don't know if you can see, we have a nice spread.
Little setup
Yeah,
here.
a little setup here. We got two of the homies here. We got Jordan and we got Kristian, Kristian's a founder of Dudr. And Jordan is a founder of basket decks. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, I mean, what's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
What up?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kristian, Jordan.
Welcome.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
thanks,
Yeah.
man. Thanks for blessing us
being
with your
here.
guys' presence.
Dude, thank you.
Well, first off, so Jordan, like, there's two companies here. So we got Basket and Dudr, right? Just so you guys don't get mixed up. So Basket are the actual fingerboard decks, right?
That's you.
You guys can see here.
I'm a
Okay.
fingerboard
And
company.
Jordan's.
Yeah, and that's Jordan's. And Dudr, and Kristian owns Dudr, which is these fingerboard obstacles.
Obstacles, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
they could expand.
Yeah, go ahead if you want to expand on
Yeah.
that. I don't know if I,
Yeah,
if I
we're
did
not-
you guys
Okay. Go for it, Jordan.
justice. Yeah,
Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first. Hey,
yeah, go for it.
I'm Jordan. Sometimes people call me Bonsai. Or sometimes people just call me Basket. But yeah, I'm the creator of Basket Decks.
Cool.
I started pretty recently, a couple months ago. Yeah, make fingerboards. They're essentially just miniature skateboards. I think the relative scale is maybe like 1/8, roughly. Yeah.
But what do you mean by that? Relative skill.
Yeah, what
Because
is
like if you took a fingerboard and then just times 8, boom, 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 that would be like the size of a skateboard.
oh,
essentially,
correct.
Yeah.
So
Ding, ding, ding.
okay, 1 to 8 versus a actual
Skateboard.
skateboard versus a fingerboard.
Okay.
Okay.
I think the obstacles are roughly the same.
Now I know.
Approximately,
Now
yeah.
they know.
And go
All right,
ahead,
how about-
Kristian.
Kristian,
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead.
so my name is Kristian. I'm the owner, I guess, founder of Dudr. So I design and fabricate or manufacture some of these obstacles that we see on the table here.
Bro. And these are nice, bro.
Thank you.
Look at this. It matches.
they're
It matches
beautiful.
the
Our
the
settings
decor
here.
It's definitely an
of the
aesthetic.
studio.
Yeah, it's,
Right.
it's pretty intentional.
It looks like a centerpiece.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
has
Thank
some
you.
elegance.
Yeah.
No, I'll take those flowers. Thank you.
So I thought that fingerboarding. I'm sorry for my ignorance.
Yeah.
Right. But I thought fingerboarding had kind of died down over the past decade or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a community out there still.
I didn't know that
still
too,
doing the
yeah.
thing.
Yo, I'm not even gonna lie. Not even until like maybe last year, I didn't know that there was a community for it too.
Okay.
But I feel like everybody has had a point in their life where they've picked up a fingerboard.
Yeah, the
Yeah, yeah,
nostalgia
yeah. The
is so
nostalgia of
real.
it.
Too,
We did
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like even you guys had a similar reaction when we showed you guys some of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gear.
Yeah.
Like everybody can relate, especially if you grew up in the 2000s with
right.
tech deck,
Right,
fingerboarding,
tech
but really
decks.
Tony Hawk, right?
Yeah.
Like Tony Hawk
Pro
just
Skater.
opened
Oh,
up
yeah.
the
Yeah.
world to skateboarding, and suddenly like people who played the game are now speaking the language of skateboarders.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no. My introduction to skateboarding, because I used to longboard like in after high school, but before that, me and RS used to play Tony Hawk 3 like
lot.
Oh,
religiously,
hell yeah,
like,
dude.
A lot.
competitively,
Yeah.
right? Like me, not
Competitively.
Yeah.
between me and him.
Yeah.
Like we go off
Oh,
on,
yeah.
on each other,
Yeah.
like versus mode on
Yeah,
Tony
yeah.
Hawk 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
What
Right.
is that where you have to get like the high score
Yeah,
or something?
yeah,
Like
high
skate
score,
you
yeah.
just
Yeah.
chain combos and
Oh,
stuff.
that's the one.
You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the
So that was
balance
my
meter.
introduction to skateboarding.
Skateboarding,
Then I
yeah.
got into longboarding because it was easier than actual skateboard. Because longboarding is big, you could bounce it much easier.
Right.
So during college, I would take the bus to San Jose State, and I would
Hey,
longboard.
go Spartans.
Yeah, I would longboard throughout the throughout the campus.
Yeah.
And at that time, that was what 2007 and 8. Longboarding was a thing because like people would be dancing on the longboard. you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
freestyle longboarding,
Yeah.
and then also kind of like the splinter to that was like downhill longboarding.
Right.
Oh,
I
I saw
remember,
that. Yeah.
bombing hills where people
we're
were
around SF.
like
Yeah.
cutting up chopping boards and putting it on their palms so that they can like skid
yeah.
and slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was serious.
I used to be in like a youth group during like high school,
Okay.
and it was cool because like fads there really moved in and out within like the whole like youth group, and I just remember. I think I was maybe like a sophomore in high school, and then just everybody had longboards, and they were
Right.
sick with it too. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
But
dude.
yeah, I never got in with the hype, but it was cool to see it. You know what I mean?
But
For
did
sure.
did you skateboard?
Yes, Jordan
Yeah.
definitely did. He'll say that he didn't. We've known each other for
Why
since
would you
what,
say
like
you didn't though?
5th grade.
5th grade.
Dude, I
So
sucked.
some of my early memories of Jordan
Okay.
is skating with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I want to know why. How come he's not? You're not admitting it that you
Oh, no. Okay, so like,
because you hesitate.
Yeah.
You like kind of hesitated when. I asked you.
okay, well, I don't know. Maybe it's because like, I'm a fingerboarder for sure. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. For me, I have a skateboard,
Okay.
but I wouldn't call myself a skater. You know what I mean? Just kind of like how I have a bike,
Fair.
and I wouldn't call myself like an active rider like
Okay.
that. You know what I mean?
Ah, okay.
Cyclist.
Yeah, for me, yeah. See,
Yeah,
Like
When-
you're a dude who skateboards.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
real casual.
Right,
And like
casual.
I've had skated, a lot of points in my life. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm from Sunnyvale, and then when I moved to Milpitas in the 5th grade, when I met Chris,
Mm-hmm.
like everybody skated. So it's kind of just like a thing to do. You know what I mean? You have
Right,
something
right.
to like do with other kids because they're out and about, and like you don't want to be walking when everyone's skating. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
You want to
right.
be out with them. So
yeah.
I
It's a
did
really good
that.
quote.
Yeah.
So that's how it kind of started. You skating.
Yeah.
again.
And then I probably picked it up again maybe like a little bit during COVID. And then but it was all like flat ground, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just like learning tricks and then just skating, trying to get my tricks up again when we're at fingerboard events. Sometimes people skate cuz the most recent event that we just had was over at a skate park over in Sunnyvale.
I think I saw
Fair
like a
Oaks,
little
yeah.
highlight video.
Yeah, and that was dope. Shout out to Duckfoot. He's
Shout out Duckfoot,
Yup.
Sacramento.
Shout out.
Shout out to Dudr. Yeah, he threw the event. Got Dudr and our other friend Henry, Maple Story girlfriend.
Kaiju as well,
Give
Super
him a
Kaiju.
shout out.
Kaiju,
Here, bro.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
we'll link them. We'll link all of them. On
Oh
the-
hell yeah,
Dude,
the
yeah.
homies.
Keisha was slapping.
So can you do this and not how to skateboard? Is
Do you
that,
want-
is
do you
that
wanna
a
take this
thing, or do
question?
you
Yeah.
have to be?
I mean, like that was
Dude, no.
that was one of my questions.
Okay, go
like,
for it.
is it
I think you.
are fingerboarders skateboarders? Are
Yeah, I know what you-
This
Like,
is
they're
a
all fingerboard
whole conversation
Okay.
in like the fingerboarding community.
Okay.
The question being, do you need to skate to either fingerboard or to fully appreciate
Right.
fingerboarding?
There you go.
And there's a lot of discourse around it. My personal opinion is it doesn't matter, right?
Ooh, okay.
Similar to how you played Tony Hawk, right?
Right.
That's
Like-
true.
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
The only reason why you have kind of that division is because they're two very similar things, but two very obviously different things.
Right.
I think being a skater myself, my biased opinion is that being a skater makes you appreciate like some move sets or like
Makes sense.
certain
okay.
types of styles or flow. You don't necessarily have to be doing the craziest thing because if you have a lot of style, then that's it,
That's good
right?
enough, yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen crazy fingerboarders who only fingerboard and don't skate. And one thing that I find really interesting is how in a good chunk of those people, they appreciate or find a way into skateboarding. Similar to how that Tony Hawk game is going to
Yeah,
always
yeah.
go back to that. It gives you an insight to this world
Right.
Yeah.
where, now I'm saying, hey, I'm going to nollie flip, K-grind, tray flip out.
and I know those.
nice.
And you
Because of the
know,
game,
you know
because
what
of the
that
games,
means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I do that
Yeah.
on my fingerboard or on my skateboard, you would understand.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the beautiful thing, and that should be talked about more. Is like the connection between the two, because I don't think you're limited.
Right.
Like,
And it's more accessible,
right.
For
right?
sure.
Because someone might not be like good with their feet,
Exactly.
but we
Yeah.
have a lot of dexterity with our fingers.
Like-
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That's cool, man. So
Thanks for that, man.
Of course. Yeah.
So all right. So when you say that, like you could pretty much like, do you guys play like skate like horse, right? It's like
Yeah, yeah,
horse.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys like,
Do
or what are some of the, I guess I don't know what you call it. I'm sorry for my ignorance again.
Games.
with
No,
this issue.
all good.
But are there like certain games or
That
you
you
play,
could play,
or like just play, or is it like straight up strictly like freestyle,
yeah.
or
That's
like what's
true,
what's
I
the
mean, it's
deal?
one of those things where it's skateboarding. It's
Right.
literally skill skateboarding.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to compete, if you want to say, "Hey, Jordan,
It's really up to
I got you on a game of skate," right?
Yeah, I'm like, hey, we're out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and then we play, win or lose. It's still fun, you know.
Okay.
And
At
of
the
course,
same time,
competition.
It's still freestyling.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
100% because half the time when you're fingerboarding, you're either feeling this like itch to like fidget.
Yeah.
Like the more I fingerboard, the more I realize it's just a fidget toy. But also like most of that time you're alone.
Yeah.
So it's just about freestyling to bring
Yeah.
it all the way back around to your point.
Right.
To just like enjoy and try new things. And yeah, I guess on that tip, it has the same like responses, and the same process as actual skating. You try, and then you keep failing until you fucking land it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can we cuss?
No, yeah, you're
Okay,
fine.
for sure.
You're fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Dude. All right.
Now you're gonna
I just
talk
tried to turn it PG. No. I just wanted to let him do his
Yeah,
thing.
you're
I
good,
want
bro.
to spin on that, though, because,
Yeah.
I think from fingerboarders and skaters, there is, like, the same sort of muscle memory, right? Like, if you're trying
Right,
to do
right.
a trick in your brain, like, hey, I have pop, I flick this direction, and then I turn body or finger, like, this direction type thing, you know?
That's crazy.
And I think people that skate, people that fingerboard, landing something, it just really is that same type of dopamine hit. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like
I get
because
it, yeah.
I think it doesn't even have to be skating or fingerboarding, but like any niche or hobby where you lab something because you don't know how to do it, right? You want to learn how to do something, and then you just are in the lab, trial and error, and then you get it. The first time you get it, you just want to replicate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just want to get
Over and
better.
over again, yeah.
Just chasing it.
Yeah.
You just want to chase it, And I think that's kind of like the bridge, you know what I mean, within skateboarding and like fingerboarding culture.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome, dude.
dude, no, it's fun.
So let me ask, how'd you guys get into this? I mean, I know you said you got into it fairly recently, a year or so ago.
yeah. Again.
I don't know. Did you mention when you got into this, Kristian?
Yeah, wait, didn't you get into fingerboarding, Jordan, like when we were in middle school?
Yeah. So originally, right, like how I said, most people have picked up a fingerboard. I
Right.
think my like the first time I remember getting like a tech deck, I was with one of my cousins, and then we're at his house, and his mom wants to go Walmart, so we go to Walmart, and then we're like, yeah, we're kids, we're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fifth
Right.
grade and stuff, so we were like, hey, let's go check out the toys.
I got one too in Walmart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
or Target. Shout
Or
out.
Target, one of those.
and then we seen them, and we're like, hey, you think your mom will buy us this, bro? It's like, dude, there's 6 in here, like you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
3 and I get 3, bro. You
Yeah,
know, is that cool?
The split.
Yeah, dude, you dragged me here to Target
of
for
the
no
pack of
reason. You know what
6.
I mean? You know what I mean? And then middle school was cool because I remember people were like experimenting, like making paper fingerboards, making like they were taking lighters and then kind of like doing some cool stuff. They're heating it up and then adjusting like the kicks. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Some really
Like
like
the
deep-
camber. Of
Yeah,
all
it's
that
like
stuff.
deep-
Yeah.
super
Camber.
DIY, and that's
Okay.
kind of
That's
still
legit.
like where fingerboarding's at now. But I remember transitioning from like plastic tech decks, and then just out of nowhere, like there's this kid at my school pulls up with a Berlin wood, and
Dang.
like
Was that Kenny?
yeah,
Shout out Kenny.
Shout out to Kenny.
Shout out
No,
to Kenny.
seriously.
Is that like a more expensive or like
Indeed,
a more?
especially
Yeah.
back then, dude.
Okay.
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
like legendary because one, it came out in like Germany, so it was like weird. The accessibility was so limited back then, and then if you had a wooden fingerboard, you just had something that was more realistic and less of
Right.
a toy. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It's just like a regular skateboard scaled down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you see the bearings, and then
Yeah.
the wheels really spin, and the trucks
Crazy.
really turn.
That's
Yeah.
legit. And what's cool about fingerboarding is you don't get injured.
Right.
I mean, like
That is the biggest one.
Yeah.
You should get arthritis or right?
Yeah.
I think I rolled my knuckle the other day. Actually,
Yeah. I know.
It's
Sometimes it
possible,
gets
it's
kind of
possible.
gnarly.
They
Dude.
sell
Yeah.
those knee pads for your fingers.
Hey,
for
they
your knuckles.
exist.
They
Don't
do?
play. They
Yeah,
exist.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Even little kicks. I should have brought my.
Those are
I have some
legit.
Jordan Tiffany's.
That's so cool.
Ooh.
Go ahead, continue with your story.
But yeah, that's like middle school. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
And then I think like throughout high school, I had like a cousin, and they were able to get me like broken knuckle stuff because they're like the cheap, accessible wooden fingerboards at the time.
Okay.
And that company is very like it's still around. You know what I mean? And they're cool because they're the community for like new fingerboarders that want to transition from like a plastic piece
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like something made out of actual wood. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then actually, I got back into fingerboarding. I'd say summer last year. It was a go skate and make music day, and
Right.
the homie Chris Dudr and then the homie Maple Story girlfriend. They threw a event, and he's a musician, so he was playing some drums and
We'll talk about that
yeah,
later.
dude, it was a
Okay.
vibe, but they had some parks, some obstacles and stuff there. So I actually decided to pop out and bring some of my older friends, like had like the nostalgic value,
Okay.
and then
Kenny was there. Shout
yeah,
out Kenny again.
Shout out
out
Kenny
Kenny.
again, dude. Yeah, and then since then, that was a cool time. I didn't really think about too much after that because he wasn't printing stuff as Duder. You know what I mean? But
And you mean printing? You mean 3D printing?
Yeah, 3D
these,
printing.
pieces?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
so after that event, I still had like one fingerboard. It was one that I got off of Amazon, but then no obstacles, scene, and
Yeah.
then yeah, I think maybe last year, like end of the year, maybe around Christmas or so, maybe even before, right?
For what?
For you started printing like obstacles.
Yes, that was October of last year.
October of
Yeah.
last year.
October
And
of
this
last year.
goes back like because we have our business accounts and then we have like personal fingerboarding accounts and then we have just personal Instagrams. You know what I mean?
There's
Right.
a lot of accounts.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're
and
good.
then I just seen an account named Dudr, and I was like, bullshit, I know whose house this is, bro.
I know this dude.
And I was,
Yeah.
followed him, and I didn't even like introduce myself, but I just
Yeah.
talked to him as if I knew him, as like because I knew who he was
Yeah.
ultimately,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get another setup, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see what's up with the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom. You know what I mean? Here we
That's
are,
where Duder.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Comes along, man.
Definitely.
How long have you been fingerboarding, Duder?
Yeah. So
Or Christian? Sorry, if you call it
either
Duder.
or, like honestly, like the name Duder kind of like was given to me. Like I feel like the followers or just my friends, they associate the ramps with the name.
Right.
Originally, it was just like a word that I would say actually through Magic the Gathering when I'm describing like a creature of like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm
Okay.
gonna attack with this Duder. Like
we have
that's
that.
something
Okay.
that I've
Okay.
always
Yeah, that's like your own term, right?
Yeah, yeah.
kind of, yeah. I think I heard my friend say it initially, and I've just never stopped,
Yeah.
saying it as
Kind
well.
of adopted it as your own.
Exactly. But I've been fingerboarding since what, like 2019?
Something like that.
I
When we
got-
were playing Magic, you had one around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Definitely have to have the fingerboard with the magic sessions. When you're,
It's a fidget.
it's a
Yeah.
fidget, it's a
Okay.
fidget. It's a lot of stimulus. But yeah, 2019. I had known of fingerboards since middle school through Jordan and Kenny.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was skating back in middle school, so when I saw that they had these like really to scale and functional fingerboards, it just blew my mind, right?
Yeah.
They're realistic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the realism, the bearings, like the foam grip tape, it was just wood and like it was different,
Yeah.
But yeah, fingerboarding casually, I'd say since 2019, and once I got my hands on my own printer, I just started pumping stuff out, and that was kind of the initial like purpose of my printer.
Right.
Outside of making things around the house, like to solve problems there, but was to create toys.
Hey, no, that's cool, man. So
And
you
they're-
made this?
I did make this.
Shoot, that's nice.
And they're really nice, dude. They're like quality pieces.
Thank you.
Look at this, man.
Same with the basket day. I mean, look, like when I touch these decks, if I remember correctly, Tech Deck's the grip tape was fairly
Yeah,
aggressive.
Yeah,
right?
it was. I mean,
Yeah.
just grip tape. Like
yeah, just
Yeah.
real grip
Sandpaper.
tape. Made your
Sandpaper.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Basi-
like
yeah.
But this is like
gritty.
felt.
I mean,
right?
now
Yeah, it's
that
like a
we compare
foam.
it with this, it's like
Right.
totally different.
It's like
you
a
know?
luxury. These are like luxury toys. Like I wouldn't even call it. It seems demeaning to call them
yeah,
toys.
yeah.
Like they're like I don't know what you would call them. They're just
Like real skateboard,
they're
but they're
skateboards.
smaller.
There's like skateboards
Hey,
and
the
obstacles.
miniature
minimized,
world,
right?
you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just
Right.
miniaturizing things and
Right.
Yeah.
that type of.
Yeah.
there's
it's
a-
legit, man.
Yeah,
It's
there's
dope.
a lot of people that like are fond of like miniatures. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like you'll sometimes see on Instagram, people will make like a mini rice plate,
Or, like, they're
it's-
cooking
Yeah,
with
cooking with like
miniature
mini
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those. and
Dude,
you could
it's
actually
cool.
eat
Oh,
the
yeah,
thing.
I've seen
What?
those.
My girlfriend loves those. Sends me them all the time.
Even food, like they have like miniature food stuff, bro.
yeah,
Eggs and ham.
Yeah.
Can you guys tell us more about the community about
Yeah.
the finger skateboarding?
Dude, I guess like in NorCal, I didn't even know that they existed, to be honest. A couple months ago, it was really like serendipitous because I started basket shortly after Dudr was established, and before he made it a thing, I was just like like one of his number one fans. You know what I mean? Because I'm there, I'm skating it, I'm giving him feedback.
Yeah.
He makes something else, and it's better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
crazy because this is happening like every other day. Because I'm over at his pad every other like,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's cool because the R&D that he's doing is just like so insane.
Yeah.
And I remember we were trying to get his launch event ready,
Okay.
and this was at a coffee shop.
Yeah, cafe. Shout out Tampa Room.
Yeah, Tampa Room,
Shout out.
Fremont, and yeah, dude, there was just one day that we're helping like set everything up, and then yeah, the day that he had an event, it was kind of late. It was at like 6 or so.
6 to 10.
Yeah, 6
That
to
was the
like
time
9.
slot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like prior to that, there was an ongoing event from an established like collective. They're called NorCal FB, and they had an event that was supposed to have been at a skate park.
Okay.
But weather had made them change plans, and then they ended up having it at a skate shop. Under some
Cool.
canopies and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But it was cool. It was a vibe, and like it worked out because a lot of those people mobbed it, and then some people brought like their own parks and stuff. But yeah,
Like
it was
this?
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, full builds. Like,
Yeah.
I do a lot of 3D print and tile, but other folks do concrete.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like actual
So
concrete.
you guys, when you guys go to these events, you guys bring all your stuff with you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, now we
And
are.
you
Yeah.
showcase them there.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just tabling at the Bounty Sunnyvale event. I brought out like 3 or 4 parks, including my table, because
Yeah, you
I
had
like
like
the customers
3,
to be able to
and then
play.
the Sunnyvale Bowl that he had made just for that.
Right.
Is this
Yeah.
like competitive, or it's just like
Oh, it's just all good
It's
vibes.
all
dude.
love.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
all
we did host a competition.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
That's
it's just all
yeah,
fun,
yeah.
It's all
yeah,
fun.
It's all just fun, and the community. Everyone gets to like see each other's like parks.
yeah, that's
you see the
pretty cool.
setups, and
it's all DIYs.
DIY, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's legit.
No one like bought it on Amazon. It's like I made this one. None of that. None of that.
Nah.
nah.
I mean,
not
even if
really.
it is, like, it's almost like, what's that art term where it's like found objects?
Mm.
You know,
Okay.
if you find it and make something dope out of it that we can
Yeah,
skate,
You're right.
Repurpose
bring
it,
that.
It's
right?
still DIY.
Bring that, yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I like you guys like because Dudr, that's the obstacles, and you're the skateboard. So when you guys give each other like feedback, like
All the time.
like this is too long or like
Yeah,
All the
board's
time.
too
Dude.
thick.
That is
Yeah.
So it's like a
nonstop.
synergistic kind of.
Yeah.
100%.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, talking to kind of like the partnership that, Jordan and I have, Basket Dudr, like, especially over the last couple of months,
we've been going hard.
Yeah, and it was from the start. Like, Jordan briefly touched on this earlier. When I first started printing, Jordan was the first person to see that stuff.
Oh, cool.
So, and he was over, whether we're playing Magic or just sessioning or just hanging out, really, just having a good time. Like, Jordan would always give me, and I would always inquire for feedback.
Right.
good.
Because, like, I want to know if it sucks.
Yeah, yeah,
right. Right.
But yeah, like,
Because Jordan will say like, "Oh, I tripped on this one right here." Like,
yeah, exactly,
right?
dude. Or especially with like the transition stuff, like
Okay.
when you make bowls or half pipes, like
Okay.
that stuff can be kind of difficult to tune.
Got it,
Which
yeah,
is
yeah.
basically the curve of like a quarter pipe, and so
Yeah.
'Cause
Jordan loves my half pipes, and he's a collector of my half pipes.
I got like
Okay.
2, 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
of like ones that I'll never make again because they were prototypes.
Right.
Right. So they're like one of ones type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Okay.
That's dope, man. So the fingerboarding community is still thriving. It's still
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and-
only getting bigger. I'd say.
Yeah, and it's growing, and kind of touching back to something you guys said earlier, of just like you didn't know that fingerboarding was around or a thing.
Right.
I don't know, maybe it's just like the age of the internet too.
Okay. Yeah.
But the more deeper I get into this, the more I realize how much history there is.
Ooh.
So throughout all that time I wasn't fingerboarding, people were.
People.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of really established names, a lot of high quality products that people are making themselves or growing like these businesses,
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really grassroots, very niche hobby, but
Right.
it is honestly growing a ton.
No, Jordan,
Yeah.
you showed me like the highlight videos. Those
whole-
are pretty cool. It's like a
dude.
real event, and then
It's massive.
It's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
NorCal is getting pretty big. You know what I mean? We're trying to throw like a lot of events. Sometimes it's through a collective. Sometimes people are throwing their own events, but
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's all love. There's people that try to hit up every event, and then there are people that are just exposed to it for their first time because they are like so close to the area
Yeah.
type thing. But yeah, the community itself, it's like always been there. I think it's just having events that helps people know that people are out there too trying to sesh, and people are willing to drive the distance because they all love the same thing.
If ever you guys are doing, if you're hosting it, let us know. We could shoot.
For
we
sure.
Could, we could do
Oh, that would be
photography,
awesome.
videography.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
it's your
for sure.
event.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
we're willing to help.
Yeah.
It's just you.
I haven't,
kidding.
yeah.
I'm just
I haven't
kidding.
thrown my own events yet.
If ever in
but-
the future, though.
Yeah, Chris is pretty like familiar with throwing
Okay.
events, whether it have been like music or
Art,
fingerboarding,
yeah.
art. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But that's literally what brought me back to the scene. You know what I
That's
mean?
awesome, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. It's honestly crazy because like the day jobs of people that are fingerboarders are kind of like insane. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a random niche that you kind of don't know who also fingerboards. You
But
know
it's
what I
those.
mean?
It's the people that appreciate or that are in the niche. Those are the diehard like members of the community.
for
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like that's what I believe. And let me ask you this. This question is for Jordan. So for the basket decks, I noticed that that your designs are, some of them are like anime style, right? Is that like your style? Are those
A common thing in
the
the
common? Yeah. Is that what's the style? I guess what's the aesthetic?
Dude, honestly, skating and like fingerboarding aesthetic can really like range, but a lot of it is mixed with like street culture, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So you see a lot of like graffiti
I
and
see
stuff
that,
like
okay.
that. But personally, the inspiration to my brand is Hookups, and they're an old skate brand.
Okay.
They were pretty much known for making like just anime baddies or like
Yeah.
some
Okay.
like cartoon like
Yeah, I see it on your
superhero type
stickers.
stuff.
Yeah.
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 And no, it's like really really cool because
Yeah.
when I was a kid hunting for tech decks, I would always look for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Never get them. I always get like I end up finding like blind stuff, like
Yeah.
toy machine stuff. Now I'm saying those are cool,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
like for me, always wanting to get hookup decks and never getting them kind of became also why like that was like the inspiration of like my brand.
Okay.
But my homie that is my artist, I've known for I'd probably say maybe like more than 5. I'd say maybe like 7, but less than like 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And we met playing fighting games because I was really into like the fighting game community back then.
Okay.
Played Street Fighter, Smash, Tekken, all of that, like in arcades and then smaller like venues that are dedicated to like hosting those types of tournaments.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, he was a graffiti artist, but he also does a lot of like anime type stuff because it's inspired from like the video games like anime that we watch,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And anime now is more. And before when we were growing up, anime was like, dude, you're a nerd. You're watching
Dude.
anime, right? But now it's like
It's-
widely accepted.
yeah. For
Widely,
sure.
It's widely
Every
viewed, but-
color they
Yeah.
watch.
I don't know if it was Naruto or, but because we grew up on Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was like the only thing, or
Inuyasha,
like the
Inuyasha.
OG stuff.
Gunplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like, dude, you go on Netflix
Mainstream.
and there's a bunch of like I can't keep up with all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know
A
what I
lot,
mean?
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot. How about you, Kristian? Like, I see your aesthetic, and your aesthetic is dope, man. Because I
Thank you.
mentioned it before, it looks like a centerpiece. Like it matches.
does.
It matches the table. It could be like you could just keep it on your table, and people will be like, "Oh, that's a nice like looking like
Design. Yeah.
Nice looking
design or a
thing.
book-
You're like,
you
what
know I
is
mean?
that
What is-
for?
what is that?
I
Like-
feel like I could skate if I had a skateboard.
Right.
You have
this
like
small.
a mini bench, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have other designs as well?
was
Like,
gonna
Yeah, I do. I make quarter pipes and half pipes. I actually brought something today.
Oh, here
Show
we
it.
go.
Show it.
Let
Yeah,
'em
so
know.
this actually just dropped today.
You made this?
I made this, yes. So this is called the Buildable, and basically, like, what I'm trying to do is bring like accessibility to bowl skating, which is kind of not seen right now outside of really old school tech deck
Yeah.
ramps and stuff.
I think the majority of people do ride like street You know what I mean? Parks are
Yeah,
usually
like street, like
a plaza.
stuff like this, like plaza
Yeah,
stuff.
but transition's not really there.
But yeah, to answer
Yeah.
your question, I do have other things and like other things that I'm cooking up on too.
That's cool, man.
What I'm really excited about this though is like it allows people to make like whatever bowl they want.
Right. It's like was the word modular?
Modular,
Modular,
indeed.
yeah.
Modularity.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, bro.
So you can make it longer, or you can make the bowl even bigger,
Yeah.
or smaller if you like. right?
Smaller, yeah, definitely. At this past Sunnyvale event, I modeled the bowl that was at that park.
Whoa.
Yeah, or it wasn't 1-to-1, but it was using my pieces
Uh-huh.
to express the same form.
Dude, that's dope,
cool.
man.
Yeah,
That's like
thank you.
Lego.
It 100%. You know, I was
Yeah.
definitely a kid who tinkered with their hands and
yeah.
like played with Legos and took things apart. So,
Yeah.
and the aesthetic, it mainly comes from just kind of like my interests as like kind of a creative or a designer. You know, I love marble and granite, and it's one thing. Being a skater, like I love skating those
Yeah, yeah.
materials as well.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
easy on the eyes, bro. Like it looks
is,
really
yeah.
nice. Like, can you imagine like someone like on a real skateboard grinding on like a piece like
100%,
you know,
yeah.
a marble counter?
Yeah, there's a lot of places, especially like I mean, I could think of a couple places in San Francisco or the East Coast, like in Philly, Freedom Plaza, where it's like these large monuments for like kind of like a different purpose that
Right.
are
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
public, but
But people still go in there.
yeah, but
Yeah.
the skaters interface with the architecture in such a way, you know.
Oh, dude, I have something to piggyback off of that.
Oh,
like,
please.
fingerboarders and skaters just have this specific eye for architecture. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and
Yeah.
it's like you could just be walking around and then you just see like this really like gray smear on like a ledge, and you're just like, oh, this is a skate spot. People
Oh,
are here.
yeah.
People
It's
have been
waxed.
here. It's waxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's buttered up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone hit this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, it's cool. That's why I always have a fingerboard on me too. I'll just be going wherever I go. I could be in like a hospital.
100%. And that's
Right.
kind of like
Yeah.
a similar thing where it's like fingerboarding is skateboarding because that behavior of looking for spots
Yeah.
translates 100%. I could be ordering a taco and like you know how they have that little ledge, that little shelf?
Uh-huh.
There's almost always a ledge right
Yeah,
there
yeah.
to fingerboard. So it's like, yeah, like same with skaters.
Yeah.
You see a curb. When I see a curb outside and it's painted, I'm like, oh man, the
Bro, they're gonna put
possibilities.
signs up that says no
Possibilities.
fingerboarding.
Yeah. Hey, somebody actually recently got kicked out for fingerboarding
No.
seen that.
on a property.
Fingerboarding?
Yeah,
Oh my
I just saw that video on Instagram.
Dude.
It's like, hey, you can't be here. You got to leave the premises. Like, what? I'm fingerboarding.
So how
I
long does
think-
it take you to make one of these?
Some of these take a while. Like, you know, the bowl that I just
Oh,
brought
yeah,
out,
yeah.
like that definitely takes a good amount of hours. But this one specifically, I think to print one, it definitely takes at least a couple of hours. I don't know the exact
Really?
figure off the top of my mind,
How
but
about designing them?
designing them can be really fast.
Okay.
Like for this one, for example, like
Really fast because you're a pro at it, or really fast because it's just
mean,
easy that way?
a pro in the sense
In
of
designing.
like my skill, like
Yeah.
yes, that is my profession.
Ooh.
Like I wouldn't consider myself like an expert, but that
Okay.
is what I do outside of, you know, making ramps and
Got
stuff.
it. Okay.
Yeah. I do a lot of 3D modeling, a lot of technical modeling, and yeah, it can take a while. Like Jordan's really familiar with this, like the iterative process of starting with the first idea, realizing it's shit, and then slowly tuning it in.
Yeah.
You know?
So how do you tune it? You print it out and then tuning it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same
So-
with the boards.
So you're
too.
using
Yeah.
a lot of materials?
Yeah, yeah, like the R&D costs, if you will,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it can definitely be pretty costly.
Because with making music, you make something, you save it you render it, or
Right, yeah,
export
you
it
have
as
a
a way.
version.
You're
Yeah.
really not wasting anything. Maybe just
Right.
space in your computer, but you can just
Time,
delete
yeah.
it. Yeah. And then you're actually using materials.
Yeah, physical material that takes time to build. Like 3D printing, like granted I have a pretty good printer and I'm
Okay.
grateful for that, but even then it still takes a lot of time.
How about cutting the marble pieces?
So I have a vendor that I work with to get like my pieces and my
Okay.
tile. Yeah. So
Legit marble, guys.
legit marble, yeah.
Oh, dude, I have a question for you actually.
Whoa.
What's up, dude?
I don't think I've ever asked you, but do you look at the marble first and then be like, yeah, there's a piece that I can make just for this?
Ooh.
Or do you start off with like your design and then you're
edit.
like, oh, I just need to find a tile to fit it?
It's a good
You
question.
know what I mean?
Yeah, like I've done both and I think every design kind of starts with a combination of both. Some will start with an idea of like, okay, I'm going to design a ledge. And kind of my process in designing is kind of constraining it so that there's less unknowns of like, okay, it's the ledge. It needs to be this tall, yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can start with the concept from there. But if I'm going to make it work with the tile, I have to design to it. Right.
Right.
So it's kind of piece and part. Like if I say I'm going to make a ledge that's going to look like this, I have the design in my mind, but I also am limited by my material.
I can
Like-
tell he knows what he's doing, man.
Dude, Chris is
Right?
very humble, bro. Like,
And you said that this is your day job, like 3D. Well,
Designing,
Design,
modeling,
design,
yeah.
right.
like
yeah.
you're a mechanical engineer.
Indeed, yeah, I am a mechanical
Sweet,
engineer.
Yeah.
bro, that's great, man. A question for you, Jordan. So, I noticed that you have like the standard board, and you have this like differently shaped boards,
Oh yeah.
right? So, like do you have like a selection of like, do you have like a longboard selection, or is that
Ooh, longboards,
No, that might be
Jordan.
crazy. Those have to be pretty flat in real. Like, I think in reality they would probably be kind of hard to skate. But I wouldn't mind having them.
Some 65D.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some really
but-
soft wheels.
This
Well,
is
let me
next
tell you,
project.
yeah.
Ooh.
So,
If you guys want to see that, say in the
Ooh,
comments.
it started here.
Say it in the comment.
Okay,
It
let's
started
go.
here.
so I guess to go off of the question, I have one mold that I use for now, and yeah, I got this website off of Germany. Saw it on YouTube. That's how I kind of got the recommendation for it, and then along with that, I ordered. It came with one shaper, which is the 32 millimeter width popsicle, and then I
Okay.
bought a shaper kit that came with 3 additional sizes.
And
But
the shaper kit shapes the wood in piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
profile
Yeah,
right here.
so-
So
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
they're like little blanks of wood, you know what I mean? But they get pressed to shape
Okay.
from the mold. And then I actually got some custom shapes from Chris. This was a custom shape that he made. And then one of those right there was a custom shape that he had made before the last event.
I believe it's the
These ones
eggy.
right here?
Got it.
Yeah, this one.
That's legit.
These are
Eggy.
Jordans.
So when
Yeah.
you sell those, do you sell them as a complete build, or do you sell them as pieces, like
and
the
then they have
board
to
and
build it.
like wheels? How do you go about that?
Well, I guess because I've only sold at events locally so
Okay.
far. I've only been selling them as decks with like some grip in the package, and then I also do like engraved grip, but that is like separate. You know what I mean? At least at the time, but I'm probably gonna start including it. You know what I mean with every deck. But I think if I were to start selling to other places that haven't broken or haven't got their foot in the door with fingerboarding, then I would probably sell as like completes. You know what I mean? Because
Got
they won't have people at fingerboard events. They have extra tools, they have extra parts and everything like that.
Okay.
But I think when you cater to communities that may have been exposed to it, they're gonna need like a full setup. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just to play with it out of the box.
This
You know
is
what I mean?
legit. Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cup,
Thank you.
plastic, and everything.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I got the little
Jeez.
hentai character right here.
pause. But yeah, no, those are essentially made from DTF paper. Shout out the homie Super Kaiju. He got me right with those prints last time, and I cut them up. You know what I mean? And then I rolled them, the board and then the graphic through a laminator, just like they do with real boards. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Peel it off and then clear coat it after, and essentially, that's calling it done.
Right. Let me ask you guys this: when you guys were actual skateboarding with your feet, were you guys able to do like tricks and stuff? Like,
Chris is crazy. Bro.
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
So-
still skate.
Yeah.
I still skate.
Okay. So do you then like, oh, if like a nollie flip is like this, is it the same
With your finger.
type motion with your fingers?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
like
Crazy.
mental
That's
connection to like your fingers is essentially the same, because there's like a cadence to, you know what I mean, it's popped and
Right.
flipped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, it's pretty realistic. You know what I mean? I'd
Yeah.
say
That's amazing for me.
Dude, yeah. No, people are crazy.
Yeah.
There's some people that do some stuff that's probably like unique to fingerboarding, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it would be impossible in real life, but
Right.
I think that's what's cool about fingerboarding, and like what's cool about my group of friends within like fingerboarding especially is because, you know, they always keep it creative, they always keep it light, it's always fun, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And like I think that's what's cool, kind of like what you guys were saying earlier, but within fingerboarding there's no dedicated like goal every time you pick one up, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you kind of just try to progress, and you sometimes progression is just a personal thing, you know what I mean? You don't see it, but you feel it, you know what I mean?
Right.
When we used to play with this as kids, we just do whatever.
Yeah, it's like,
not
oh, that's
Yeah.
a cool trick,
Oh,
but
I
it's
landed.
like luck.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you don't know what you're doing. You're
That
just
is
like,
that is still more or less the way.
Okay.
It's
You know,
just like-
all styles are welcome.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's like button mashing and
Yeah.
fighting.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude,
Yeah.
essentially.
That's how I win.
Yeah.
That's how I win.
Yeah, like
Stand the
like I
jab.
said earlier, I was never into like actual skateboarding, but I got into longboarding. But I got a story. When I started longboarding, I started watching those YouTube videos, like people going downhill, right? And I was like, dude, I could do this, right?
you
so I went up to
can't.
one of
No,
those.
you
hills.
can't.
Oh,
I went up to one.
Oh,
did
man.
I don't know if I ever told you this story, but I went up to one of those hills in the Evergreen Hills, right?
Oh man.
And I
Evergreen
went
is
down. And I'm
gnarly.
like,
Hold
so
on.
I was going like fast. I was like, dude, I don't know how to stop.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
On a
When you go that
longboard
fast-
too, man.
Yeah, I
that's
was
a lot
going
of weight.
fast. Yeah, so I was going. I'm like, all right, what do I do now? Because I was still like going pretty fast, but then there was no cars, right?
Nice.
But then I was like, dude, I don't know how to stop. So I was like looking around, like, what can I?
Let me ask. Did you have gear?
No gears, dude. Just
YOLO.
bravery.
Just bravery.
Yeah, so I
Damn.
was going down, and I saw a curb, right? So I could just go on the curb, and then land on that person's grass.
Oh,
Right.
oh, yup. You
So
gotta
I was
hit the curb
I was
first.
going on the curb, and then I hit something, right? I hit a rock, and I
no.
just like,
so is the rock.
and then straight Superman, like, right?
Oh,
And then like I was like, I ate it, like
Yeah.
munch on the ground, rolling,
Ugh.
and I still have a big scar, like a big like scar
Yeah.
on my back
Damn.
from that, right? So I'm like, oh
Road
shit,
rash.
yeah. So good, you know, thank God I didn't break
Yeah.
anything, but I was bleeding like
Ooh,
no other, right? So
on
I
your
was-
back too. That's an
Yeah,
awkward
bro,
spot
on
to
my
be
back right
bleeding
here.
I
from.
know. I can't even see it, bro.
I think
Yeah.
I remember this. I remember
Yeah,
this,
so
yeah.
I went. It was right before I met my wife.
Yeah.
So I was
Nice.
like, I gotta go. I can't go home like this, right? So I went to Target with my arm bleeding, bro, like off of my shirt, right? And they're like, oh, can I just get some? I just went up to go get some bandages,
Yeah.
and I wrapped my own bandage. Like, dude, it was crazy, bro. Like I was in like a softball sized scar on my back.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So
and it
you
was-
like dragged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I dragged on, and I think the ground was freshly paved. Like it was done within the last few months. So
You're probably
I was-
going extra fast.
I was
then.
I was going extra fast on the
Yeah.
longboard, so I thought it was sick on the longboard, but I guess not.
And then after that, you kind of quit already, right?
I quit for a little bit, but but then when I healed up, I was still in
Nice.
school, so
yeah,
I still
you
kind of
take a break, you
Yeah, I
know.
took a
Not
break
as
a little
gnarly,
bit.
but we're gonna try. You know.
Yeah,
the
I mean, I
hills.
didn't break anything, which is
Yeah.
great. I mean, it's just a flesh wound, so it's whatever.
Did
But,
you guys ever experience something similar to
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. I've been skateboarding for a long time.
Tell me about it.
I've had, concussions. I don't know if
Oh.
I've broken anything. I've never been told by like a medical
You have.
professional, but I probably have. I've definitely I've sprained and rolled my ankles probably over a dozen times each.
Yeah.
I've fallen on my ass to where I was skating in the rain or it was like lightly sprinkling and I hit this power slide, which is where you kind of skid,
Mm-hmm.
where you go like this.
Yeah. That's a cool trick.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
but
a
I was
cool
doing. I'm goofy, so I was actually
Yeah.
doing it
Yeah, me too.
backside.
Ah.
Hey,
Yeah.
gang, goofy gang. And I slipped out, and I felt like, imagine you're sitting,
Yeah.
but instead of like your thighs being parallel with the ground, you hit your tailbone.
No.
Yeah.
Like you,
Yeah.
so it was just direct to my fucking tailbone.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
it hurt so bad, like I had to crawl to my car.
Oh.
It was really gnarly. So yes,
Holy
I
shit.
have had my
That's
fair
awesome.
share of like spills and getting
Yeah.
broken off, man.
Yeah.
And you never get it checked?
I have.
Oh,
I've gone
man.
to the hospital for this.
Okay.
I had to go to the hospital for my concussion. I was skating Fremont Skate Park, and it was one of those situations where my board landed wanting to turn one way, but my feet landed wanting to turn the
opposite.
other way,
Yeah.
and
So
so
you're just
Bro.
jerking.
just
Oh.
like pretzeled on the ground, kind of
Yeah.
like I don't
Oh.
know how to describe that. I got like
can imagine the pressure.
launched backwards and I like whipped the back of my head into the floor.
Yeah.
Oh my
And I had to go to
goodness.
the hospital.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, man.
really gnarly.
For me, like after that spill that I had, I chilled off of the skateboard a little bit, but I really took on snowboarding.
Oh, nice.
And I think that's like I didn't say I was super good, but I really enjoyed it. So I went every week up to Tahoe every time that I can.
Aren't the falls like in snowboarding pretty bad as well?
It's bad as well.
depends.
I've gotten injured more at snowboarding.
I was gonna ask.
So
Yeah.
I dislocated both of my shoulders
Damn.
snowboarding. I sprained
Ooh.
my wrist. My when I fell, my wrist went all the way. It touched my.
Oh, you felt it,
Yeah, I
dude?
felt it, and my wrist was like, if it looked like there was a ball in my wrist.
No.
Oh,
For like a
hella
week.
swollen.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
You can land on like
Yeah,
powdery
bro.
snow sometimes.
Yeah,
like
that's
Yeah.
why I said it depends.
So powder's
Yeah.
not bad.
I
Yeah.
fractured my.
Powder's not
But
bad.
when it's like
fractured-
icy,
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah,
know what I mean?
dude. I
Just
tried. I
fuck.
tried the
Sorry.
I tried the obstacle course. Fractured my tailbone.
Dude.
Oh.
So I did
You
all that. But then,
fractured your
yeah,
tailbone?
But, dude, I love snowboarding that much that I kept going.
Yeah.
The next season.
It's more or less the same with skating, right?
Yeah.
But like maybe snowboarding gives you this guise of safety with the
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah, well,
like
it depends on the season. If you have
Okay.
fresh powder, then you could just
That's
fall
fine,
and just
yeah.
like
Yeah,
it'll be like
that's
nice.
chill.
But during the later on in the season when the
Literally.
snow is like ice,
Oh,
It's
yeah.
concrete.
it's like concrete, right?
and it's kind
just
of
concrete.
like I don't know. If you have to pay for an experience,
That's
right? Because like
true.
you need to pay for the lift, right? You don't get a
Snowboarding
lift
is
for free.
expensive.
The
You
gear.
have to have the
Yeah.
gear. If you
It's
don't
not
have it, you
year-round.
rent
That's
it. You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, well, what I did was Shell gas had a thing. If you filled up like 5 gallons worth of gas,
You
you
get
get,
a-
a free ticket to Heavenly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
yeah.
If it's-
What?
So I
5 tanks is
always-
easy in
always-
California, bro.
I went from Costco to Shell gas, and now we just like every week just get a
Yeah.
free ticket up.
if
it was
only I
fun- it
knew,
was-
man.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. That
Shell,
was-
hook it up.
Yeah, they don't do that no more. But
I had
Aw.
one really bad fall in snowboarding, and then after that, I became a producer.
Hey, that's all
That was it, that
Grounded
was it.
you.
dude.
At least I'm never gonna get injured.
Well,
Yeah.
what were you doing? You were just snowboarding
Just
or
snowboarding.
just
yeah.
riding and then
Just riding. There was
you
a
were
time,
like more casual. You were casual.
Yeah.
You'd go like a couple times a
couple of
season.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
Yeah.
time I got good, but one bad fall.
Yeah.
I'm scared of pain.
Yeah,
So after that, I was like, I'm just gonna be a producer.
yeah.
But the cold no, the cold doesn't really
Yeah.
lessen the pain that much.
I don't know. Being a producer, that's like a different kind of pain.
Oh, here, bro.
Mental
Yeah.
pain.
I'm mentally
Oh,
damaged
man.
from.
There's so much you have to learn. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Can we
like-
talk about music? We can talk about music
Yeah,
now.
Dude.
I wanted to know you guys individually because I know this is not all you guys do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You guys mentioned earlier when we were eating dinner, you guys were musicians. Kristian is a
He is a
musician.
musician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that, Kristian?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I play drums, bass, and I fiddle on keys. I've been a producer. Not so much these days. I've
Yeah, yeah.
considered myself kind of on a hiatus.
Dude, you do everything. bro.
I do a lot of things,
Jack
man.
of all trades, man.
Yeah, master of none, 100%. But just get really deep into it, you know.
Uh-huh.
Looks like you're a master at.
I don't know if that's mastery.
Yeah.
That's certainly an expression.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, no, like music was something I grew up with, you know. I have a fairly musical family. My dad plays guitar
Mhm.
and you know, I got enrolled into like a musical lessons all throughout my
Got it,
Typical
got it.
life.
Filipino.
Yeah.
We did that
Typical
too.
We did that too. We
Filipino.
played guitar, yeah.
Played guitar, tried clarinet, and then
yeah.
you know, piano. The dreaded piano lessons,
Yeah,
dude.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, and
But
the
that's top. If you
recitals.
do
Yeah.
piano, that's like
Yeah,
top
no.
echelon of
For sure, like the
Uh-huh.
piano is definitely top high tier musicianship because you're like a bass player, like somewhat of a guitar player playing like melodies and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and you're a drummer basically because you're drumming with your fingers.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess from when I first started, I just took it with me everywhere I went and took it pretty far to where I was able to like pay rent with gig money and like you know function as like a sit-in studio
Yeah, yeah.
live musician
That's awesome.
for various
dude.
people outside of even doing my own like personal projects.
Wow, okay.
What do you
do?
should send us some of that stuff, man.
Oh, man.
I'm
What do
really
you-
down to hear that.
What do
stuff.
you do? Like hip hop? What genre do you do? R&B,
You're more
pop,
jazzy, huh?
country?
Yeah,
Jazz?
I guess it's definitely rooted in the practice or the tradition of jazz.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Jazz and
especially
blues kind of,
yeah,
yeah.
jazz blues like definitely more soul music. Like I grew up with a lot of underground hip hop, but
You must be good, bro. People who say they do jazz, they're good.
I don't know, man. I
Is he
just
good, Jordan?
I just show up.
Do you still
Hey.
dabble?
He's humble.
I certainly do. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Sorry.
shout
You're
out to
good, bro, you're
Henry. You know, another fingerboarder, skateboarder, and
Musician.
fingerboarder.
Musician.
You know,
artist. He's an artist.
he's the one who got me into fingerboarding.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
out,
We've
Henry.
done a lot of gigs. We've done a lot of events together.
Nice.
That was the one
I
that I
would
was
say
talking
I
about.
definitely do dabble. I'm never not fiddling or like tapping out rudiments or thinking of ideas, but I'd say a lot of my creative energy recently has been with Dudr and
Got
fingerboarding.
it. Got it.
Yeah, and I just recently found out that Jordan raps
Yeah.
Nah.
like a few months back.
Freestyle. Real
Hey, hit it real quick.
I'm just kidding, bro.
No.
You know.
You know how our episodes end,
Yeah.
bro. You got
Yeah.
you got to rap something at the end.
I got to get drunker for that.
How'd you get into that, bro?
Honestly, so I used to produce a little bit too because back like right after high school, I was really into raving. And like I was into the more upbeat stuff like house. I like trance music because
like
it's
that?
like
Yeah.
it's shuffle music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go to raves and like have people that would meet up at raves and we'd be in the back and we would like just shuffle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Raves is really popular here in the
Yeah,
area. San
yeah,
Jose.
Still?
Yeah.
Yeah, it still is.
I'm sure it's still
younger
around if
generation?
you just get
Yeah, it's a
plugged
different
in, you know.
generation now. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But
Yeah.
like back when I was going, it was pretty
Darude
cool.
Sandstorm.
Dude,
Just like
yeah, pretty much.
You know, those-
Same.
Yeah, when I first stared getting into like electronic music, I'd say this is like vintage YouTube days. I'd say
Okay.
probably like
Vintage YouTube.
Cascade, like
Mm-hmm.
AMV of Naruto. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
Tiesto. You know what I
okay.
mean?
It's
Like
different.
ATB
Okay.
Ecstasy. Like
That's like house music, right?
yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
house trance. It's like it's upbeat. It was pretty cool. But that inspired me to take a class at De Anza.
Dang, you took a class?
not a like a dance class, but it was a producing class.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and you
That's
know, you
cool.
don't buy any books. You just buy the software.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I took that class. I tried a BTA for that after, but
Logic?
yeah, Logic
Yeah,
Pro.
it has
yeah,
to be
so
Logic.
I was on Logic Pro X, and then I kind of, just started to like diddle daddle, make beats. You know what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean? I wanted to do like electronic music because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get into like do sound design
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
create presets and stuff like that. But
Sweet.
ultimately, like I just messed around. Like I think this is why I never took producing too serious because I just had a lot of fun with it, but
yeah.
I couldn't find a lane to stick in.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And ultimately, a lot of like the work that I like to make, I didn't really want to share. I just kept it personal. You know what I mean? Because it's just fun.
So
to-
when do you take something seriously?
Hmm.
Like for
General
example, you're
question?
a rapper. If you're a rapper and you make music, when do you take it seriously?
Shoot.
When you start to like grow a fan base?
I think it's different for everybody, right?
Yeah,
That's a self-defined thing.
I think it's
How about you, Christian? When do you take a hobby or a passion seriously?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. I think it's the moment when I'm gonna do this thing,
Mhm.
regardless of whether people are looking or not.
Whoa.
Like,
That's a good answer.
I think the affirmations of other people definitely play into it. But
Yeah, it
like,
does, yeah.
you know, like music or skateboarding or dude or fingerboarding, I'm doing that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
I do this, you know?
Yeah.
And if people pay attention, that's just a happy byproduct.
yeah. That's just a bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a bonus. I think that's kind of where it stems from is just like, this is cool. I think it's cool. Here you go, you know? Because even with Dudr, that was solely personal initially
yeah.
until people around me were like,
Right.
dude, you got to do this thing.
Yeah.
Like,
saying that. Yeah,
that was definitely Jordan and like family members or whatever.
Because other
It's-
people, like people from the outside, they see the potential in you.
Right. That potential and the affirmation of like, hey, this thing or this product, this music, this whatever you're doing, it's cool. And that could be from your family or people from the community, anybody.
Does the mom count?
Oh, yeah.
Your
for
mom would
sure.
be like, "You're good at this, but you suck at it."
Or your mom will be like, you're not really good at
it's
it.
it's either up here or down here, right?
yeah. My mom just said like, as long as you still got your day job, like, all right, you do you.
Yeah.
Make sure you
Right,
sleep
right.
enough. That's
There
it.
you
You
go.
know? Yeah.
For me, it's when you start choosing that instead of resting. Instead of sleeping, like I'll be making beats, and my wife would be calling me like, "It's time to sleep." I'm like, "No,
I know it's like, dude.
I
I'm
still
in the
gotta,
middle.
I gotta find the
in
right
the
kick.
zone.
I gotta find the right kick and snare, right?"
yeah.
Oh, that's
That- when-
like,
that's for me. It's like when you know you're like losing other stuff. You're more focused on
When
something.
you're prioritizing this
Prioritize.
above everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or to hit
Okay.
that like Zen-like state,
You're in flow
Like-
state.
Flow
Flow
state.
right?
state,
Where
yes.
like you may hear your partner saying, "Hey, it's time to sleep," but you're somewhere else.
You're somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Where
yeah.
are you? You know, where do you go? Maybe
Yeah.
that's when you say, "I really like this thing." Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the music. I'm inside the music right now. Yeah.
Right. You just
Late-
kind of lose the
Yeah.
world.
Lately, I've been in this music wave.
Oh, yeah.
Like I can't stop
You're
doing it.
producing like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before that, I was in the music block for a year
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. Tell us about
to the point
that,
where I
man.
was ready to quit. Like
Quit?
but the thing is, I go through this every year, bro.
Right, tortured artists.
Yeah.
I think I still have beat block, bro. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I tell people it's okay. It's okay. Like miss it. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
take a break for a year if you have to, and just you'll miss it. If it's really your passion, you'll miss it.
You'll always come back to
Yeah.
it.
Right. Would you say you burnt out?
I burned out all the time, bro. It's I've been doing this for more than 20 years. So
Ooh.
Maybe
That-
that block is like your body telling you to take a rest.
yeah,
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, not your wife anymore. It's your body this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Or like your creative output. Maybe it's time to go on a walk.
Yeah.
yeah.
Absorb a little bit more life, you know?
So don't listen to your wife. Listen to your body.
My body tells the truth.
Dude, how do you handle burnout? Like, especially
Um,
from like the music side
Yeah.
of things.
Before I would force it, and I would just like make beats, but everything that I create was just trash, trash to me. You know, I wasn't enjoying it, and then I took a break for like a month or two, just not making beats. But what's cool with me, I have other passions. I have photography, videography, so I could
Right.
focus on that. And then you'll start to miss your main passion.
Yeah.
And you're like,
And you'd say it
This
is
is-
music.
yeah, it's still music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure. When did you get back to it? Like, when were you like, you know what? Fuck it.
When
I'ma start
you start
making
making
beats.
beats again, you're like, I'm feeling it again.
Mm.
Yeah, because
He starts thinking like, I'm sick.
Yeah, you're like, dude, you know what? I'm
Yeah, yeah.
tripping.
Like when
I'm
I'm
I
sick.
should never left.
Yeah, for real.
like when I'm making beats,
back
I'm like moving
Because I
again.
never
Like
Yeah.
I'm feeling the drums, the melody.
it like hits your body.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm grooving, and then when you're grooving, the audience sees it too.
Yes. Yeah.
But when you're just making beats, like you're just forcing it,
Mm-hmm.
and then whoever's watching you could feel that same vibe that you have.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I know you guys are still fairly new to your company's still fairly young, right? Do you guys go through anything like
Oh, that's.
anything like that? Like
Do they have those?
I don't know.
Burnout?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%,
Oh, yeah.
dude. Oh my
Dude.
God.
How like explain, please.
Yeah. Let's.
Yeah, for
Let's know.
sure.
Dude, so my first drop was at an event in March, and I think a week prior to the event, I wasn't even on the ballot. But
What do you mean by that? We don't,
like
Like the flyer.
yeah,
Oh,
people didn't know that like I was gonna be there.
is this
as a
more of like discouragement?
No, it was more or less like I wasn't ready, and
Mm.
I had a product to get ready by then. And yeah, my like company, I'd say I started in like early March, and I've only been to like a couple events, but yeah, the amount of like prep that went into like the first two events was like pretty massive. You know what I
Right.
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
When it came to like knowing how much you're gonna have, how much you realistically think you're gonna sell, how you're gonna like
Oh, yeah.
lay it
all of
out,
that.
dude.
All
There's
that
just a
stuff.
lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then you have to pack, unpack, and then like that itself is like
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
It
work.
is a lot of work.
And it's just
Yeah.
you guys, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and the community, all the other
Yeah.
vendors are
Right.
doing similar.
I mean, what I'm saying, like, you don't have the other people in the community helping you
Like a
do
team.
that stuff, packing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes and no. Like,
Well, yeah,
yes,
okay.
like basket is ran by Jordan. Yes, Dudr is ran by me. But actually, with this last event, we really tag teamed.
Yeah.
You know, where I had a special shape that I wanted to release, and this is a Dudr basket collab. The shape is called a baby dragon. You know, I just recently had a kid, and she's a baby dragon. So
Congrats,
it's Year of the
bro.
Dragon.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And
And
awesome.
Jordan's about to be a dad as well.
Yeah.
Congrats.
who's
You guys
also
are
gonna be a
adults
baby
now.
dragon.
Some real adulting and shit.
Yeah,
Man.
dude.
Yeah, no, but a lot of tag teaming. Like Jordan has been a great deal of help, like not only with like R&D or like helping me prove out like certain designs, but also just like for the first event, he helped me finish all of my 3D printed boards, and for this event, I helped him shape stuff out, and he
Yeah.
helped press decks. So
Yeah.
it's really as of lately, it's Jordan and I tag teaming to help
Awesome.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have
It
to
lessens
be.
the load on both of you
for
guys.
sure.
Yeah,
just
for
like
sure.
another person in the room to like
Yeah.
validate concerns, or like to just as an extra hand to put things together. You know.
Because you could be kind of like over optimistic about your product until the homies really like, hey, there's some room for improvement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Or like you might be doubtful of yourself, and then you might need that external validation
Yeah.
to be like, hey,
For
I might need
sure.
to go back into the lab and try to fix this before I print it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be like,
Yeah.
dude,
And two
I
is
can
better
skate
than
it.
one.
Two
yeah.
is
Yeah.
definitely better than one.
sure.
And like, to tie it into the question, like the burnout is real when you have all these ideas and
Yeah.
there's all these expectations or just like baseline requirements of like, I have to come with something. I have to
Right.
come with some product. What is that number?
Yeah, yeah.
Boom, that's a decision. I
Right.
have to make a decision on how the ramps are, sized and everything. That's a decision. So it's just constant work, and then managing a business, trying to market, trying to get
Yeah.
into those things.
And
It's
that's
like
not even like the social media aspect of it.
right, and it's
That's
all
another thing.
intertwined,
Yeah.
So there's like so much overlap, and then
Yeah.
I actually find it really hard to design new products or like to be creative when I'm fingerboarding, because that's like I just want to fingerboard, but when I'm in design mode, it's like I'm just designing.
Our last guest, he what do you call this? He didn't say he had a hard time, but it would have been easier if there's a team that could do all the other stuff.
Right.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
And
creative aspect is very different from the business aspect.
Right.
Of
Right.
it.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yep.
How do you guys
Right.
handle that?
Oof.
Okay.
That's for both of you guys.
Yeah.
So for me and for basket, all I do is I make the decks, right? But that involves, pressing them.
That's the
and then-
creative part
yeah,
of it.
and that's kind of like, the artistry in me, because you know what I mean? But I don't do the art, you know what I mean? And I didn't do the rug, and I didn't do a lot of stuff, but I make the boards, and then I also do the branding. I make the post.
Right.
I try to move forward with like, stuff, and I just try to stay like tapped in with the scene, because I think even as a company, engaging on Instagram is just other ways to get you out there. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be posting stuff, but when you're showing love to other people, somebody that follows them will stumble upon you, and then they'll be like, I've seen that name in like comments, or they've liked the post, and then now you finally check them out. And
But don't you think that's slower? Because you're just waiting.
Yeah. 100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sometimes.
sometimes that's just how it is.
You,
You know
you
what I
gotta
mean?
post every day, bro. I'm
Yeah.
Dude, that
telling
I
you.
try
engagement,
to.
man. Yeah.
to.
Like learning how to balance that social media aspect. And
Mm-hmm.
like for me, this is my first outside of, kind of being a musician and like making a network and getting your name in so that, people call you for gigs.
Yeah.
With a business, it's very different.
Yeah.
Like there's products, there's merchandise to be sold.
Yeah.
And, even we were just talking about this literally on the car ride. It's just like managing that creative versus like all the back end that goes into running a brand of like, oh shoot, I have an online store, so I have to manage that.
Shit,
and then I
there's a
have to
lot.
do shipping, and then,
Yeah.
I have to do marketing and
Yeah,
stay
marketing's
like,
tough.
posting, and it's
Yeah.
it is a lot. It's a lot to manage. I don't know necessarily how to handle it, being that it's so new. I feel like I'm always learning,
Just trying to figure stuff out
Yeah, yeah.
as you go.
But that's honestly why it's really fun too.
Yeah.
like-
That's
Definitely.
true. Yeah.
Like this is my first run in with, owning a business and like running it from, being the chief in a sense.
yeah.
I've been around that. Like my cousin ran clothing brands and, is a freelance designer. Shout out to Ralph Buen makes.
Shout out, dude.
Oh, yep, one makes.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it is definitely a lot to manage. It's a lot of fun though.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the future looking like for a Basket Decks and Dudr?
Ooh.
Well,
Like, what are your guys' plans in the near future?
well, my baby is due next month. Less than a month now. So
Okay.
I know there's going to be an adjustment period, but I'm trying to do the most that I can right now before the baby is out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think once the baby is out, it's just going to be learning how to adapt, workflow with the baby, and trying to understand like the times where I can give myself, a break, a break to work on basket. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right.
Because ultimately, I'm gonna be devoting my time to
Your priority
yeah,
changes.
to the baby mother, and then to the baby. So, what I want to do is work on having like my prints, on DTF cut out, and then just have the time to press whenever and route the decks, so that way when I eventually launch my website, people can order their deck with the graphic, and then I'll just have the blank deck, the graphic there, and then I'll finish it and send it out hopefully within a reasonable time. So for me, I want to make that like within the week. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think that's
Seems like
pretty
you
much
got it
gonna
all
be
planned, man.
Just it's everyone thinks they're prepared to be a parent until the baby's there.
Oh man, yeah.
Tell Dino that.
Yeah.
He has two
I got
already.
two
Dude.
boys. They're wild.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
dude, boy dad out here, so
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool having a mini me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can only
Okay,
wish
go
that.
ahead. Sorry about.
Sorry,
I wanna
no,
cut you off.
no. The last thing I wanted to say was like having kids and having a son, and then ultimately being like your mini me is like you hope that the exposure to the stuff that you do gives them enough spark of an interest to want to do the same thing.
Right.
But we're not gonna force anything on
Yeah,
our
yeah,
kids. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Maybe self-defense, like boxing, like I do. But
Oh yeah.
but if they don't find what I do is cool, it's cool.
fine, yeah.
It's cool.
It's likely they won't.
Dude,
That's a whole new generation,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Yeah.
Dad isn't cool.
Dad,
Who
yeah,
the
dude.
hell's that guy?
Yeah.
How about you, Christian? Well, what's it looking like for Dudr?
future? I don't know. I'm still really young in this game, and if I'm just gonna, I hope, I do this for a long time.
Okay.
I'm just having way too much fun designing and creating things that I think of and seeing them, physical.
Yeah.
There's something so satisfying about that. And
Yeah.
then putting it together, it's like, oh, dude, it works.
Yeah.
So I'm on that high. Definitely more products, definitely more videos, just keeping up the momentum that I have currently. And I just really look forward to expressing myself through this medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'd hope in 5 years. This is what I've been telling Jordan and like my homies around here. Being so new to this is like, I hope in 5 years I'm still doing this,
Yeah.
but I hope I'm not doing the same thing.
Ooh.
True.
Like I just
You're
want to
doing
keep
bigger
going.
things, man.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that means. So
What our last guest said that really resonated, I still think about to this day. It was just a few weeks ago, but remember he said, "Do something as long as you love doing it, right? And as long as your mental is still there,
indeed,
because if you're not, then it's just a detriment to your mental,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, I don't know if that applies to
Yeah.
No,
to
I
you
feel
guys,
that.
but that really resonated within my heart.
Yeah.
for sure.
No, for me, I make music. I've been making music since we were kids.
Since we were kids, yeah.
I'm still doing it
Since you were
because
13.
I love doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
Like
sure.
so many people is like, why do you still do that? I can't. I don't know how to
You
stop
just can't
anymore.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you this, Gatter. So if you continue, if there's no future for you, like to make money off of music, would you still be doing it?
But I am.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah.
I'll drop the mic for you, bro.
Dude, we don't even need an outro,
No,
bro.
I just really like. I mean, your passion really keeps you going.
Yeah.
You know, like I just want to tell you guys, like, if this is your passion, even if you want to quit, it's not gonna let you quit.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know
I
what
know
I mean?
that
It's
feeling
not
for
gonna let you
sure.
quit.
It's like
Yeah.
you're possessed by
Yeah,
your
you're
passion.
possessed by
Oh
it.
God, yeah.
Dude,
And
It's a blessing and a
nothing can
curse.
stop you, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like I said.
Whether you might have a bad year, next year will be better. Even if it takes like 3 years of bad, like it's not good for you, for your company, there's going to be
Yeah.
a year that's going to go viral. There you go.
Yeah.
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 Wise words.
If you're really passionate about it. If
Yeah.
not, you're just trying to be cool. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
You might have a good season, but it's not going to last you a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't get you through like the storms
Yeah.
of it, you know?
Right.
It'll get you popular, cool for a meantime, but it's not gonna keep you up there. But if you're passionate about it, you're up there forever.
Right.
It might not be for everyone else, but for you,
For you.
personally, you're up there forever. Yeah.
That's A1, right?
Yeah.
Like, got to be fulfilled in it.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I could, me and Dino could tell you guys are really passionate about this.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you guys came here and brought all of this.
Yeah.
You guys blessed us
to,
with
to
all
be
these.
honest, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, same here.
You know what I mean? Because but then when you bring out the set, I'm like, whoa, I
Yeah.
really like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's a vibe.
Thanks.
yeah, it is, bro. I'm like, whoa, and it's like I'm down with the aesthetic. I'm
Yeah.
down with the vibe,
And I'm down to
It
support.
seems like anyone
Yeah.
can
Sure.
really
Hell yeah.
get in on this
Yeah,
because
yeah.
not everyone could get into skateboarding, like
Right.
actual
Right,
skateboarding.
right.
But mostly anyone could get in on this.
Yeah.
You will find one
way.
way or another to appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like,
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks again
Dude,
for
of
coming on the
course.
podcast.
Thank you for
Is there
having
any
me.
last words that you want to say to the
Audience?
Slammer Show
Yeah.
audience here?
shoot. Honestly, thank you guys for having us.
man.
It's been a pleasure. And
No,
you guys
man.
are dope. And honestly, I think it's cool because what, the fingerboarding community is still really unknown, still really small. And I think it's cool to like bridge the gap
Yeah.
and just put more people on. You know what I mean?
Definitely, bro.
Because that's all what within the community that we do is like, I always rep my homies. You know what I mean?
Right,
I
right.
always do the most that
And
I
I
can.
see that. I see that
Yeah.
in you, bro.
Dude, for sure.
Well,
And that-
hopefully we can help in like
Some way. Yeah.
some way about exposing the fingerboard community.
And your guys'
Yes,
Yeah.
for
company.
sure. Yeah.
Hopefully we can help with that.
Yeah, if you're listening to this right now and you've gotten this far in the episode, DM either Jordan Basket
Yeah,
or
We'll have your
Duder.
guys'
we'll link everything on the
Yeah,
description
like
down below.
reach out. We'll hook you up.
Yeah,
Dude.
Yeah, we'll hook you
definitely.
up.
Yeah, we'll link all the homies that you guys shouted out. We'll link them all there too.
Wait,
For
are you guys
sure.
gonna show us some tricks?
Dude,
in the end?
honestly,
yeah.
Hey, let's
Can we
cut
do
this.
this?
See me fiddle with
Let's
the
cut this.
fingerboard.
We're, this is where we cut.
Yeah, yeah.
We cut and then we set up and then you guys could do.
for
Oh,
sure.
that's what
I'm
I already
down.
know. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we do, dude.
I brought the fisheye too.
Thank
Yo,
you.
hey.
Hey,
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having
bro.
us.
Thanks,
Dude,
guys.
thank
Thanks for
you.
coming out. Thanks
For
for
sure.
your presence, guys.
was
Thanks again for viewing the Slammer Show this episode. Thanks for Kristian and Jordan for joining us. We hope to see you for the next one. Thanks a lot,
Subscribe,
guys.
like, and follow these guys on Instagram and their
Peace.
socials.
Yup.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys.